Ladies and gentlemen, Sabahatt Habib.
I have been part of several decisions in my life that have been completely correct, but devastating at the same time. You know, those decisions that keep you up all night, those decisions that you remember even years later, those decisions that no leader, no leadership book, no mentor has ever prepared you for. Those decisions where two opposing truths coexist at the same time. That is what we'll be talking about today. I remember it like it was yesterday, but it was years ago. I couldn't sleep all night. I kept tossing and turning and tossing and turning. And it wasn't because I did not know what to do. I knew exactly what I needed to do. But it was just because of the weight of it all. I kept thinking about her. I kept thinking about her morning routine. I kept thinking about how excited she must have been. Coming back to work after her maternity leave, she was buzzing with excitement. How she must have woken up a little bit earlier than usual, put on her favorite earrings, probably gone shopping to buy some clothes to get back to work because, you know, nothing fits after you come back from maternity leave. How she must have been so excited to carry a laptop bag instead of a nappy bag. How she must have kissed her baby goodbye just a little longer because all mothers feel that mom guilt when they're coming back to the office. But for Sarah, this was not just a job. This was her ambition. This was her passion. She was driven. She wanted to climb up the career ladder. She was one of our top 8 players. She was absolutely remarkable. And this was more than a job. It was her independence. It was part of her identity, part of who she was as an individual. Little did she know that while she was on her maternity leave, she was placed on a redundancy list. Her entire team and others from the business had already been parted ways with. So she thought everything was over. She's coming back to work and everything's going to be great. It was no fault of their own. No fault whatsoever. It was just a business decision. The market's tough. We needed to cut costs. Cash flow is tight. We kept debating for weeks and weeks. When is the best time to do this? Should we do it at the end of the day? Should we do it in the first thing in the morning? Should we do it midday? When is the best time to break this news to her? So we went for the least wrong option, which was 8:30 a.m. She came in that morning, full of excitement. Good morning, everyone. I'm so happy to be back, distributing chocolates and sweets and catching up with everyone in the pantry over coffee, cracking jokes, and I could see the joy in her face. She was so happy to be back in her element, back in who she is. And just then, I had to ask her to come into my office so I could break the news to her. First, it was shock. Oh, this is such a joke, Sabahatt, come on. There's no way that I'm on that redundancy list. I'm so good. I have done so many projects for this business. Is this some kind of joke? Ha ha ha, the joke's over, I'm back. So I'm so excited, we're going to be working on XYZ projects. Then it started settling in. I could see the color change in her face. And then she was defensive. What do you mean? What do you mean that I'm being made redundant? What do you mean that today's my last working day? This is absolutely unfair. I have been loyal to the business for so many years. I have done everything. I have gone above and beyond everything that has ever been asked for. For God's sakes, I was working until the last minute when I was delivering my baby. How can you be doing this to me after so many years of pure loyalty and good performance? I have done nothing wrong. And then she just broke down. Then came the emotions. What am I going to do? I just got a nanny. I've just given birth. I have a baby. My expenses have increased. The market is difficult. How am I going to get another job? What am I going to do? And just then, I knew I had to make a decision. And I'm going to stick Am I going to stick to the professionalism that I was taught? And am I going to maintain my corporate poker face and repeat the words of restructuring, organizational changes, company policies, etc.? Or am I going to be the authentic leader that I would have wanted if I was in that situation? I chose the latter. Yes, you're absolutely right. This is extremely unfair. Yes, you're absolutely right. You do not deserve this. Yes, you're absolutely right. You have done everything possible for the company. You are one of our top performers. Yes, you're absolutely right. This is completely unjust. But at the same time, the business has no choice. Our cash flows have constraints. We have restrictions, and sadly, there is no other alternative. Now, that was a bit of an extreme situation, so to say. But we face this more often than we realize. Think about that employee that has just lost their spouse. They have lost the love of their life, the mother of their children. They've gone back to their home country. They've used their bereavement leave, they've used their annual leave, they're asking you for more time. They don't know what to do. There's so many legal procedures that are still left. For God's sakes, their whole world has broken down. They're asking for more time. But from a business perspective, what else do you have left? The person is in sales. They can't work remotely. The only other alternative is unpaid leave. As devastating as it is, the company policy stands. There is nothing else that can be done. Think about the time when you have that employee that comes to the business asking for a salary in advance. Their mother is in ICU. They had a medical emergency. They need the money desperately. It is so time critical. But the company policy stands. You can only take 1 month of salary in advance. You don't know if they're going to be able to get the other money. You don't know if they're going to be able to get a loan. All the banks have turned them down. Their mother is in ICU and she's on her deathbed and she needs that money. But you know the company policy stands. You know the company is right because there are 1,000+ employees, and as sad as it is to say that there are these situations that happen more often. And it is a business. Cash flow is tight. It cannot be given salary advances of any amount without caps or rules. The company policy stands, but it is devastating at the same time. Now, for generations and generations, we have always been taught that there is a particular way in how a leader must look like. You have to be confident. You have to walk into a room and make decisions with no hesitation. You have to show no emotion. You have to be the loudest voice possible. You have to have all the answers and always be right. At the same time, we've painted a picture of what our people should look like. You need to have grit. You need to be resilient. You need to go above and beyond. You need to take all the feedback that has been given to you and always deliver. Work all hours. You have to deliver. Work on your annual leave, work late nights, it doesn't matter. Have a sports team mindset, learn AI, self-learn, self-train, work with constraints and lack of budget, etc., etc., etc. All we do is ask, 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 ask. Demand, 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 demand. And when those same people are at their lowest points in their life, what do? Create a distance. Don't get emotionally vested. Don't get emotionally involved. We put our corporate poker faces on. We hide behind company policies and big business jargon words. You know what I think the real problem is? I think that the leaders, well, not all leaders are bad, but I think these leaders are just so afraid. They're so afraid to show who they are and be authentic to themselves because they don't want to fail. Because we have said that if you show vulnerability and if you show emotions, that's a sign of weakness. You are a weak leader. One could argue a lot of leaders are also not emotionally aware of their own emotions to be able to even understand the other person when they're going through their lowest point in life. But we have reached a time and place where the world is no longer asking for a different kind of leadership. It is demanding one. Now, what does this new leadership look like? And no more additional frameworks, no acronyms, no big methodologies, no new books that I'm going to be recommending. It's nothing complicated. It is something as simple as being a good human being, leading with humanity. So that when you are in those situations, you can say it out loud that this is unfair. You can say it out loud that this is a difficult decision for you as well. Say it out loud how you are feeling and how you wish that it was an alternative. Give them your time, not just a calendar invite where you're hiding behind your laptop and big company policy words, but give them your time. Look them in their eyes. Show them empathy and emotion. Show them your vulnerability. Show them this is not just a task on your task list, but this is taking a toll on you as well. If there's nothing that you can offer them, the least you can do is offer them humanity. Communicate to them, explain it to them, that you have tried everything possible, level with them, hear them out, let them let it all out. Because no one is looking for a perfect leader. They're just looking for a human leader, an honest leader. Because when you hide behind these corporate poker faces, you lose credibility, you lose trust. And guess what? No one is going to believe anything you say, and they're not going to believe the vision that you're trying to project for the company either. I still think about her at times. I think about Sarah. I wonder how she is. I really hope and pray that I was able to minimize the gap between what she needed and what I was able to offer. Because in those meetings, it may just be one of 100 meetings for you as a person, as a leader. But for that individual, it is the one meeting that is going to change the trajectory of their life. This meeting is going into the narrative, the story of their life. It is going to be what they share with their friends and family, and it is going to have an impact and an influence on how they feel overall for years and months to come. Now, one may think, oh, okay, but this is all HR related, leaders in other departments don't deal with this. You're absolutely wrong. If you have even one single employee that is reporting into you, that employee will always come to you regardless of what your job is, regardless of what your department is. They will always come to you when they are at their lowest point in their life, looking at you and how you are going to react. So you have a choice. You have a decision to make. Are you going to be those professional leaders that we were trained to be and hide and put on your best corporate poker face? Or are you going to lead with humanity? So today, as you walk out of these doors, I ask you to always and always remember that you, each and every single one of you have the ability to make an impact in a person's life when they are at their lowest point in their life. Choose wisely. Are you going to be the professional person that you were trained to be, or are you going to lead with humanity? Thank you.